You are listening to Just Roll With It. Jonathan is your lore master. Christine plays the channeler Amena Valare. Neil plays the Ogier Quercus, son of Ilex. Aradia plays the channeler Pimur Dothorin Akel. And Fate plays the Child of the Light, Lance Akashi.
So everyone kind of drifts off. Quercus goes back into town or back to his campsite. Lance has to report for duty. The novices get schooled in some novice training for the afternoon. Did you want to meet up again later? Or were you wanting to just sort of let the time... I guess what I'm asking is, are the dogs something you want to pursue right away? Or is it something to notate and just move on with your sort of daily activities?
I kind of thought we were going to meet, like, later in the night to...
Well, and I gotta win some money off of Pimur, so wherever he goes, as long as I'm off duty, I'm probably following till I can win my money back.
I'm interested in pursuing this as well. I'm not used to wild animals suddenly running up and attacking me.
Totally fair. Okay. So, about the same time as the previous night, say 7 p.m., Kiara will finish running you two through your paces and let you off for the night with a little bit of a wink and a nod, and she knows you guys are going to be up to something. But she seems to be... You don't know what it is, but maybe it's just the time of year, but she seems to be loosening up a little bit, so she is more than willing to let you two wander off and do whatever you feel like you're going to do.
Man, Amena, do you think that she's like someone like put something in her tea? Because she's acting really weird.
She is acting really weird, but I don't know. Maybe she just likes this time of year and is feeling festive. I'm just going to go with it. I'm not going to question too much because I like that you guys are kind of almost getting along. So, yeah.
Yeah, she managed to like not yell at her for a whole hour.
Yeah, and she managed to not call you a girl.
Yeah, that's a whole new thing. I really hope it doesn't go away just because the season ends.
Me too, but no sense in kind of poking that bear. Let's just
enjoy it. Bears, let's go find some. Yeah.
Okay. So what should we do? Should we walk into town? Actually, we should probably go ask the Ogier if he wants to come with us.
Well, yeah, are we meeting back at, like, the tracks? So the tracks were, like, sort of between... Where were the tracks? Are we meeting at the tracks or are we meeting in town?
You had discussed meeting at the tracks later. So on the way back, I'm assuming you would have worked out what time if you were willing to go. So, it only takes you probably 15 or 20 minutes to walk back to that part of the woods. And...
Are we sure that Pimur and Amena can find their way back to the that part of the woods? They didn't seem too hot on the tracking front last time.
I mean...
We made note of it.
But we sort of know where they are-ish, right?
Yeah, it was daylight when we marked the spot in our minds, so it shouldn't be that hard to find at early evening.
We're gonna find it. It'll be fine.
I don't think it would be as much of an issue. You guys would have been paying attention, so I think it would have been just fine.
I mean, we don't know different animal marks, maybe, but I think we can find our way
to the spot.
Right.
To the spot.
Tracking from the spot might be different.
Well, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Fair.
So did we arrange with Lance to have him come, or did he just go goody two-shoesing off back to town?
Goody two-shoesing off?
Before we arranged that.
What? No, I'm following my duty and still trying to show everybody that the Children of the Light are good people by keeping people safe, by finding those who may have gotten lost in the woods in the middle of the fucking night.
I'm glad to see that the condescension that was there before still remains. Good to have, some consistency.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Well, are you coming to meet us at the tracks? Did we arrange that with you? Are you coming?
We arranged to meet in the evening time after I was done with my rotations.
Okay, but in the town or out here in the woods?
Yes.
Okay. So we all meet fortuitously at the exact same moment.
In the woods. All right, so it's winter. It's 7 p.m., so it's getting probably pretty dark. For the playtest purposes, I don't remember. Do Ogier have dark vision?
I haven't noticed that anywhere in my handbook.
Well, I actually do, even though I'm a human, because that's one of my Mirandian traits, is being able to see in dim light.
And I've got it too.
Cool.
Oh.
I do have something called Natural Explorer, which means that any time I make an intel or wisdom check in a forest, I get double proficiency bonus. So if I get weird results, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, not
So
a problem.
with the particular book with dark vision and stuff, because dark vision is more racial in 5e, I went through and looked more at the different cultures, which cultures were used to being in the woods and exploring, or going out at night and doing those things, or like the Mirandians, and they're well known for thieving and having those kind of things. So they're more likely to be able to see in the dark and be associated with it. Places that are in the borderlands, same kind of thing, because they would be used to those night raids.
So I do not have night vision.
Okay, that's not a problem. You will just have to stick close to those that do.
I think I can do that.
All right. So the ravens have started to sort of get at the bodies, but Quercus earlier was able to determine the direction of the footprints. So as you all sort of meet up again, you know the direction from which they came, and you can decide what you want to do from here.
So,
I want to follow them.
so
All right,
should we be
so-
determining an order of travel then?
I would like a marching order, and I would like whoever's going to be in front to be rolling me a survival check.
Okay, so who's got the best running around in the woods, me or the ogre? That's the question.
Probably the Ogier. I'll
Yeah.
take
Okay.
up the rear so that I can...
I'll be in the middle.
I was just going to
Sorry.
say so that I can make sure things aren't sneaking up behind us.
Yeah, and I'll come right behind the ogre.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and give me a survival check.
18.
All right.
Wow.
So as you go into the scrub brush foliage, you aren't really able to determine individual prints. They appear to be running as a pack and sort of running over the top of one another. But you are able to follow a pretty clear line, and it continues to go further east. Depending on how long you stick with it, you walk for 15 or 20 minutes, and you're still pretty much able to determine the line at which they came from.
Okay. Does this take us to... We don't come across any human settlements, do we? We don't come across the boundary of the town. We're just going straight
No.
out to the wilderness now.
Yes.
We're going east.
Yeah.
So the town is like south of us. We're crossing over the town.
I think we should, if we can, I think we should continue, a good bit further.
Can we tell if the tracks have that one wolf with the hurt foot?
Yes.
That, yeah. Okay. That track is in this
Yes, in the kind of
Okay.
mixed pile.
set. Okay. Yeah, I'm into it. I just want to keep following. Like where, what, why?
All right. You travel for probably another 15 or 20 minutes. You come upon, it's not quite a ridge. It is an outcropping, a large outcropping of rock. And if you will all look to your roll 20s, you should be able to see. So as you're looking at it, it's a large outcropping of rock that follows a line, and then there appears to be some sort of fissure or opening in it down to the south.
Oh, interesting. How tall is this outcropping?
You are 6'3".
Yeah.
You cannot reach it with your arm extended.
Wow. So it's like a proper little cliff.
Essentially, yeah.
Huh. And there's an opening down to the south. Do the tracks lead right to the opening?
Yes.
Ooh. Guys, I think this might be something interesting.
Should we go check it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go check
Could
it out.
we, just before we do that, could we...
No.
So hasty.
Wow.
So hasty.
Want to go?
Well, I'm just trying to look after you and the other people in the party here. Is there any way that before we, maybe 100 meters or so before we reach the outcropping, whether we can see if there is anything on the other side of it that we might want to pay attention to or be wary of.
So, as you go ahead and move yourselves as you would like to approach that direction. So, Pimur,
I go running up ahead.
as you get there, let me do this cool tool.
Where am I? I don't see myself.
You guys are all clustered near the top. I just went running ahead.
How did you click on yourself to move?
I'm not.
I clicked on myself and dragged.
Oh.
It was a click and drag.
Oh. Okay, there I am. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
Did you figure it out, Ogier?
I've clicked on select and move, and then each time I do it, it just pulls a square around the figure that doesn't let me do it.
Oh, don't click select. Just click right on it and then drag it down.
Yeah, it's not doing anything.
Lore Master, you might have to...
Yeah, can you move him?
And you
Yeah,
might have to
just
give
move
him
me, I'm not-
permissions on that token.
I thought they already were. Let me check real quick. Oh, you should be able to move, but I will do it for you. That's not a problem. So, it is dark as you look through the fissure, but now that you're looking at it and you can see both sides of the opening, about 5 feet in, the outcropping of rock from the cliff starts covering it. So it's essentially a small little cave.
And does it look natural or carved?
Give me a nature check.
12.
It's not natural. You're not sure. It's got some sort of purpose, but you can't... It's right at the top of your head, but you're not sure.
Huh. Guys, I think someone must have lived here or something. Someone has done something here.
Yeah.
How was this created? Was it... Can we tell? Was it created by the One Power?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay. 19.
You see tool marks in and around the entrance of the cave. What looks like probably picks and shovels. So this was probably dug out.
Okay.
I'm just going to look around at Pimur and just shake my head and say, my eyes can't penetrate the darkness much further inside here. Can you magic any light for us to see?
I suppose I could give it a go, but first I just want to listen and see if I hear any, signs of life or anything in the cave before I attempt to announce our presence with One Power Light.
That would be a perception check.
Natural one.
You hear all kinds of things. There's birds, there's small scurrying animals, there's breathing as they're standing right next to you.
All right, well, caution is totally overrated, so I'm going to attempt to make some light with the power. Emphasis on attempt, I think. So I don't know how to tell if I succeed in my attempts to do that. I'm in a pretty good mood about the power today, but,
So, I cannot
What
remember.
spells do you have?
I have light as a cantrip.
Got it.
Oh, cool.
That's convenient. So that you actually have to cast on something. You basically make something glow.
So I'm going to walk forward, and I'm going to, draw my sword to walk forward.
So then I'm going to reach over and tap the sword and make it light up.
No, I'm a light cloak. Well, now I have this really, really glowy sword that's really good for slaying goblins.
It's a white light, not a blue light.
Oh, damn.
Well, I could change the color if you want, but... Actually, I'm going to go sort of slightly more red, so it doesn't ruin our night
just
vision quite as
flashes
much.
your-
Yeah, pretty much. Where's
And
the
then I'm going to
setting on
start,
this thing?
waving it back and forth because it changes colors.
Ooh, tracers. Oh, boy.
So taking the lead, what do I see?
You're able to see in the dark, correct?
Yes, I can see up to 60, but it's black and white.
Okay. So are you walking up to the fissure, or are you
I just had to make sure I was grabbing the right
Let me
token.
reveal a little bit more for you. So you see a small chamber. Lining the walls of the chamber are cut timbers in small logs, along with coils of rope that are sort of stacked conveniently and very organized along the walls in a couple of points.
And is there any sign of people being here recently? Torches that are still smoldering, or...
There are no torches, but go ahead and give me an investigation check.
10. I'm doing so well right now.
There are animal prints, but there are also human prints. You're just not sure how old they are. You see boots. You see the prints of boots.
I'm going to walk a bit further in.
There are 2 entrances to this chamber. Heavy wooden doors with iron latches. Both are closed.
Huh.
Are there any kind of locks on them?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
12.
It doesn't appear to be.
I'm going to try and unlatch the eastern door.
Okay. It opens.
I push the door open. What do I see? Ooh, more paths. I'm going to turn around and look at my party that is not following us for some reason.
Hey, I'm following you. I'm right there.
Sorry, I had a little pebble in my shoe. I'm on my way.
So seeing Lance open up the east door, I want to look at the south door, and does it also just not have a lock? And does it look the same?
It does look the same, yes.
Okay, then I want to open that one up and see what's down there.
Okay.
More paths.
You see bits of detritus. It looks like this is old, and as you're sort of looking around, spaced every few feet are one of these cut timber logs, and they've been sort of lashed together with the rope, and eventually you come to the conclusion that this must be some sort of mine, whether or not it's in current use.
Huh.
These look
Okay.
like the timbers that you would use to shore up the roof as you were continuing to dig further and further in.
I'm going to turn to Pimur and be like, so, you beat me at dice. Are you Tavern? Can we roll dice and figure out which way to go?
I mean, I like rolling dice, so sure.
Okay, I bet you we go north. How are we dividing this up?
Well,
I'm gonna pull out dice.
okay. I guess
1, 2 north, 3, 4 east, 5, 6 south.
sure. Go for it.
1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
So who's rolling this? Oh, I guess I'm rolling this because I'm the
I was
Taveran.
asking if you were.
Oh, right. Yes, sure. I'll roll the dice because I'm totally Taveran. What? 6? A d6?
That's all I have on me.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. 5.
Fudge.
Yeah, so apparently I am Taveran. Come on, guys, let's go south.
Wait, this doesn't seem to be a very rational approach to deciding which direction we're going. Surely we can make some other decision that isn't based purely on chance.
No, this is fine.
It's not chance if she's Taveran.
He's Taveran. Because I'm ahead of you guys, but I can still hear you. I've got lots of confidence from my new outfit, you know?
How would you determine which way to go, Master Ogier?
To see which direction the paw prints from the dogs are going.
Oh yeah, we're here for dogs.
Oh, that does actually make sense when you say it out loud.
I'm gonna
Okay, so
get Pimur's attention. Be like, hey, the Ogier's right. We should. I'm gonna look at my feet. Are there any paw prints to the south?
There are no paw prints to the south. There are boot prints to the south, but there are no paw prints.
Please be to the north. Please be to the north. Is Pimur gonna join us again?
So you're yelling down that there's no dice, or there's no paw prints. All right, fine. I'll come back to the group because the paw prints are the point. But I'm just saying that what we want to find is down there. The dice god said so. Or the pattern said so.
Okay, knowing the Ogier's got better eyesight than I do, with light, I'm going to use my glowing sword to give him some light so he can see a bit better.
Okay. Should I be rolling an investigation check or some such?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Does he gain advantage because I'm helping him?
He can see in the dark as it is, so probably not.
He doesn't need it.
He didn't need it anyway.
He gets a 23.
So the paw prints do head off into the north.
I'm going to look at Pimur and just be like,
And as you're doing that, Pimur, you hear the squeak of a door opening further to the south.
Spin around. Wait! Shush! I heard something. I heard something to the south. Paw prints or noises? The dice say that south is the way to go.
I'm going to look at the rest of our party. Well, I think we need to go... Ooh... My training says to stay on the goal, but don't let yourself get, surrounded. I don't know. I haven't studied for this test.
I'm going south. You guys can follow or not.
As you come down south,
Oh boy.
you basically bump into two men as they're coming around the corner. They are roughly dressed. One has an eye patch over his left eye. They're both bearded and scraggly. And they have very inquisitive looks on their faces, and they kind of stumble into you, and they're like, "What? Who are you?"
Looking for lost dogs?
Lost dogs?
Yeah, you lost any?
No.
Then, what are you doing here?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. God, I need to stop sounding so freaking female when I talk to the NPCs. 17.
As they're staring at you, one of them has his left hand down near his belt, which you see has a sword, and the other one is keeping his hands close to his right hip, where you see what probably looks like the butt of a pistol.
Uh-huh. So I've already embraced the source, so I'm like super ready for this motherfucker.
Okay.
I'm kind of going for the keep them talking with inane conversation while I try to think through that kind of vibe. Oh, what are you guys doing here? And I guess my party's coming up behind me, so that's good. Yeah, we were just heard some dogs and were wandering around and noticed this cave and thought maybe the dogs were in the cave, I guess.
I don't think you should be here, little girl. This is a bad place for the likes of you.
I'm 6'3". What the hell is wrong with this man? So at that, I'm going to clench my fists and hope that somebody speaks up before I make a rash decision and get us all killed. You guys are doing a great job of keeping me from getting us in trouble. Scrawny, dirty little man calls me a little girl.
I'm going to step forward and be like, you should not talk to my friend that way. He has quite the ability to kick your ass.
We'll see whose ass is going to be kicked. Roll initiative.
I wanted to punch him so bad. Should have just done it. I should have just fucking punched him in the face.
8.
4.
All right.
You want all of us to roll, right?
Yes, please.
I mean, unless you're going to run away and leave me to deal with these guys on my own.
9.
Okay, so Amena got a 9. Lance got an 8. What did Pimur get again?
4.
4.
We rolled so good.
And Quercus got 11, right?
Yeah.
11.
But I'm at the back of the group right now.
You're the tallest, though, so your line of sight is probably, pretty good.
It is, but I have my weapons are a longbow, which is no use here, and a great axe, which is also no use here.
I should have just punched the guy in the face and told him to be more impulsive.
Well, I wanted to try and help you. You gave me a glowing sword, and they were being rude. I figured I'd try and help.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you attempting to keep me from getting us all killed. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough.
No,
but...
unfortunately, it leads to me getting us all killed.
Yeah, but you can do it with a glowing sword. That's going to be pretty cool.
All right, so the bandit with the sword gets to go first, and he is going to run up. He's drawing his sword as he walks forward, and he's going to take a swing at Pimur.
Okay.
Nope. Whoops.
Yes,
A
that hits.
D120.
A D120. Fantastic.
So 6. So he misses.
No, that misses.
So he's caught off guard. He draws his sword and he goes to swing, and he absolutely misses. And Quercus, you are now up.
So I'm at the back of the party.
Yes. You are able to move through friendly squares with no issue.
Okay, so in these close quarters, I don't think swinging a great axe is going to be all that possible, considering the width of the passage. But I wonder whether I can use the axe, the handle of the axe, and sort of give him a good jab in the stomach, something like that.
Sure, you're going to have to move up close to him, but that sounds just fine.
So I just roll a d20. Sorry, remind me.
So if you're using your great axe, you're going to roll it. Great axes are strength, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, so I have... Oh, right, I have my attack bonus here. Sorry.
Right. No, you're fine. You're still learning. There is no harm in asking questions.
You should learn how to use Roll20 so it does all the work for you.
Oh, I am. Don't worry. Oh, yeah, you're right. That aspect of Roll20. 18.
18. So 18 hits, so you kind of lash out with your axe and you're able to get a good jab on him. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. 14 damage.
14 damage.
God damn.
Okay.
Wow.
So you lash out at him, and he twists or moves wrong right as you hit him. So you end up smacking him square in the face.
Ooh.
And his eyes cross, and he just drops to the ground unconscious.
Okay. Nice.
Very nice. Insults me, takes a bad swing at me, dies. I like this pattern.
Amena, you are up next.
All right. Well, I am going to, because I don't really have a clear shot from where I'm standing to get this guy, and I don't want to take the chance that I hurt my friends because I'm still kind of getting used to my power and stuff. So I'm going to cast a minor illusion.
Okay.
And so when I do that, are there limitations to what I can create, or like how detailed can I be in my minor illusion?
Let me look up the exact wording. You create a sound or an image of an object that lasts for the duration, which is 1 minute. If you create a sound, its volume can range from whisper to a scream. If you create an image of an object, it must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. It doesn't create sound, light, smell, or any other sensory effect. You basically just create a 3D image of something.
Okay, so I'm gonna create an image of a giant bear right next to that other bad guy that's over there.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
21.
All right, yep. So
I'm good at this.
it's basically a still image, but this giant bear, what color is its fur for flavor's sake?
Black.
Okay, so it's a big black bear sort of appears right in front of him.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that'll just kind of throw him off his game and then make it easier for my friends to kind of go in for the kill.
Okay. And he is actually up next.
He's going to piss himself.
I hope so.
There might be a slight amount of that. Okay. And so this bear just kind of appears out of nowhere, and he turns and he draws his pistol and he shoots. I need everybody to roll Constitution saving throws, please.
I'm just excited that there's a gun involved. 19.
Nat 1 equaling a 3.
Oh no.
Ruh-roh. 15.
19.
Okay, so the confined space that you're in, he spins and he shoots, and it's a black powder pistol in a small confined room.
Ooh.
So everybody but Lance is fine. You basically managed to cover your ears enough. Lance, you are deafened for 4 rounds.
What?
Exactly.
Why is it every time I do a spell and you're in the area, something bad happens to
I was
you?
going to suggest you do Thunderwave, but I thought that might be pushing
No,
it.
I purposely did not pick that this time because I don't trust
For
myself.
context to that particular joke, she murdered me.
But it was on accident. It was manslaughter.
He was vaporized by blunt force trauma.
So sorry. I shouldn't laugh. I actually feel really bad about it.
Really? That's not what the camera's showing.
But I wanted to yell. I really wanted to yell thunder, 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 wave, ho. And I did, and then you died.
I love that story so much. It's great. D&D is all about the shenanigans. So, yes. And Lance, you are up.
Sorry, what? Not being able to hear and seeing everyone kind of holding their head from the loud impact of the gunshot, I'm going to run up and start my twirl-dirl thing of sword strikes, starting with the dancing strike.
Okay.
18
18 hits.
for 5 damage. And then I'm
Okay.
going to sweep straight into the spinning strike, which is a nat 1.
Okay, so your equilibrium is all off. You do manage to get 1 strike, and you wound him a little bit, but he is still up, and you swing, and you're off balance, but you manage to recover. And that makes Pimur. You are up.
Sweet. Okay, so I want to essentially do a Ray of Frost, but I've renamed it Ray of Fire and decided that it's red because all things fire. But effectively Ray of Frost. 23.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh yeah, well I can shoot fire too! For 2 damage.
Okay. He is not looking good. And we are back up at the top of the round, and it is Quercus's turn.
Okay, I'll take another jab with the handle of my great axe again.
Okay.
17.
17 will hit.
7 this time.
7. Okay. And so he also gets hit and collapses to the ground.
Okay.
All right. And everything seems to go quiet again.
So, can I take the guy's gun? Huh? Can I loot the body for a pretty toy?
Yes. Go ahead and give me an investigation check if you guys are looting the bodies.
Oh, yeah. 8. But I saw the gun. I know the gun is there.
Does anybody else want to help Pimur go through the bodies?
Is Pimur in front of me or beside me or behind me?
I think we look side by side.
Yeah, it's pretty side by side.
Okay. I'm going to look down and be like, what are you doing?
I'm going to cover my ears slightly and gesture, quiet volume, and then, finger guns. Point at body. More finger guns.
I don't have any guns to shoot them with.
Waving
I'm going
you
to
down.
take my sword and just, stab into it. Trying to figure out, what do you want me to do right now? We beat them?
Just, back up. Let me search these guys.
Are you searching just for weapons or also for insignia, badges, that type of thing?
I mean, if anything interesting falls out, but I've been wanting one of these beauties for, ever. But if anything else interesting falls out, which it probably won't with an 8, but I'm going for the prize.
You are able to pick up the pistol. As you look at it, the stock is made of a dark wood. The barrel is hammered into an octagon shape. And you've spent enough time with Andre to know that that's mostly cosmetic, but one of the reasons it's done that way is because it presents a bunch of flat shapes, so it's easier to glue into the stock when you're adhering flat sides to the wooden stock as opposed to just a round barrel.
Interesting.
The strike plate is very old and very beat up, which leads you to believe that this pistol is fairly old. The hammer of the pistol, which holds the piece of flint, which strikes the strike plate to cause the boom, is very cleverly fashioned into the image of a rearing horse. It's actually the front 2 hooves of the rearing horse that kind of clutch the piece of flint that comes down and strikes.
That's super dope.
It looks expensive.
Oh, yeah. So I am definitely not noticing anything else that these bodies may or may not have. I am just admiring my new prize. But you guys should probably look at the bodies, too, because...
Yeah, I'd kind of like to look through his pockets and whatnot.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
12.
Okay, so you're able to find a bit more. Pimur basically dives right in, finds the pistol, and is sitting in the corner admiring it.
My precious.
Between the two of them, you find 22 gold, 3 packs of rations, and they are the dry travel ration type, so they have beef jerky and granola bars and that kind of thing. 9 silver, 4 copper. The one with the pistol had 12 sort of prepackaged bullets on him. It's wrapped almost like a toffee, white piece of paper. You rip the top off, and it has the bullet and the necessary powder inside.
There were 12, you said?
Yes. And the second one you got rid of, the one that had the pistol, also has a silken handkerchief with a rearing horse in red stitchery.
Amena, does your study in the White Tower allow you to have any historical insights into, famous insignia?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like not just my time in the tower, but also being born into a noble family. I'm somewhat familiar with a lot of different family crests. Can I roll would this be a history check?
Yes, that's exactly what it would be. It would be a history check. And because you are a noble, go ahead and do it with advantage.
Sweet, thank you.
Look at you.
That is a natural 20 for 24.
That's exactly what that is. So you look at it, and you're like, well, I know what it is, but it's sort of complicated. It is the red rearing horse of Kandor, but it's... In the time since the wars and stuff have been fought in Kandor, several families have claimed the sigil as their own. So who it could represent is uncertain, but it's definitely it's the Kandori sigil. It's the red rowing horse on a green field is the national flag of Kandor.
Is there any way to tell, like, is there any distinctive stitching or maybe the type of silk that's been used? Could that maybe give me some more clues as to which family might be using this?
With a natural 20... Actually, go ahead and give me an investigation check, since that's a different... since you're physically trying to look for something different.
Okay.
Ooh.
24.
Yeah, you're
Damn, girl.
rocks. It is a very fine silk. It's a little bit frayed. It's had some use. But as you're looking at it, you notice that in the stitching, it may have been picked out, it may have worn out, you're not sure. There appear to be the remains of a crown or something above the horse's head, which would, with your natural 20 history check, leads you to believe it's probably from House Noramaga.
What do I know about House Noramaga?
Continuing that natural 20 history check, House Noramaga were the leaders of Kandor up until the last battle. They ruled in Chachin. Noramaga sat in the Iced Ishar Palace.
And where are they now? What happened to them now?
They eventually lost control of Chachin during the war, and then they reclaimed it a couple of years later, and then they lost it again. It's one of those back and forth style things. So you've been out of the loop-ish, but last you had heard, the Noramaga house had lost a major battle and was scattered and not really considered a viable claimant to the throne.
And I would assume that the horse, the stylized horse on the gun is the same horse as what's on the thing.
It is
same,
indeed.
Would we have heard any gossip about them or about anything that's been going on in Chachin recently?
The most recent thing you've heard is just that the fighting has kicked up again. Beyond generalities, you don't know any specific players involved.
Can I tell how old the gun is? Because you said it's old, but like, is there any way for me to quantify that?
Go ahead and give me another investigation check.
13.
It's probably a little bit younger than you.
Okay.
It's got a somewhat ceremonial look to it, but it's not ancient. It's still fired very well, so obviously it's been well maintained. An ancient firearm would have had the propensity to explode in the guy's hand.
Right. Right, yeah, they couldn't be that old because
Right.
guns are not that old of technology. But it's like, it's been around for a couple of decades, if not much more.
So,
I mean, are you going to give me those bullets, or are you just going to hold on to them? Because I happen to notice that you found what looked to be 12 bullets. Do you have any use for those?
Yeah, you can totally have them. And I just kind of like toss it up at you.
Catch.
Sweet, thanks.
I'm just also going to look down at you and say, Master Pimur, perhaps if you're going to go charging off ahead of us, you should maybe think of slightly more plausible excuses as to why we are here than we were wandering in the woods and heard some dogs.
Fair point, Master Ogier. What would you suggest? And don't say talking about trees in your research, because that's not any more plausible. There are no trees in this cave system, in this
very
mine.
true. Just say you're explorers. Anyway.
All right, I'll try to remember. Shall we go find some more guys I can try that out on?
I'd rather not find more guys, believe it or not.
Really? You?
Not these guys.
So, seeing my companions, like, patting down these dead bodies and no one really saying anything, I'm gonna start going back north where the footprints were going.
Okay.
But you don't want to see where these guys came from?
I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah. That's
At this point, 4 rounds is what? Less than a minute? So you've got the ringing in your ears, but it's better.
So, not as loudly. Hey, those footprints were back this way. Those guys look like they were alone. I'm going north.
I guess we'd better go keep him out of trouble.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Especially he's not really going to hear trouble coming for a bit yet.
All right, I'm frustrated, but I feel like we know there's baddies in this mine, so maybe we should stick together.
Yeah.
This guy might not be the worst person in the world, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm
So.
much more keen on staying focused on what we were here to do than just randomly exploring and picking fights with people. So I'm definitely going to back Lance up.
He called me a girl first, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, what is the order that everybody's going down the hallway in? Are you staying in the way you are on the Roll20 with Lance in the lead? Or are you rearranging
That
yourselves?
works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be up, following behind, because he's got the light source, so I'll let him lead, but I'm staying close.
Right, I'll bring up the rear then so that I can keep an eye out for trouble.
Okay. So, Lance, as you walk forward, you eventually come to what looks like a T intersection 30 or 40 feet down the path, and you have a left and a right. The left path appears to curve around a little bit. The right path is more open and progresses that direction.
I'm going to turn back towards Amena. Do you prefer left-handed or right-handed?
And I kind of run a little bit to catch up. I prefer right-handed, I guess. That's my dominant hand.
Okay, we'll go down the easier hole.
You asked.
Okay, so as you turn to the right, it branches again almost immediately, and there's a smaller chamber to your left with a door, and there is the chamber, or the path seems to go forward and wrap again.
Perception check to see which way the footprints are going. 15.
Okay. So, as you look to see where the footprints are going, you hear a loud, and the door to your left thumps twice.
And that is where we close the book for now. Come join us next time on Just Roll With It.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you enjoying Just Roll With It? Do you want to keep up with all of the shenanigans and updates and maybe interact with us online? Follow us on Twitter at @just_roll or Instagram at @justrowlwithitpodcast with underscores between each word. Are you interested in maybe earning cool gaming dice or other awesome perks? Our Patreon is patreon.com/JRWI. We use Sirenscape for all of our sound effects and are a production of Fox and Raven Media.